Every Christmas, the lights on the tallest building in the city burned bright, but inside, one man sat completely alone. He was the CEO everyone admired, yet no one really knew. But that Christmas Eve, a knock on his door changed everything when a little girl with tear-filled eyes said, "My toy is broken, can you fix it?" What happened next melted even the coldest heart. So before we dive in, if stories that touch your heart and remind you of kindness are your thing, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Soul Kindness, and let's begin this emotional journey together. It was Christmas Eve in New York City. Snow fell gently over the glass towers, wrapping the busy streets in silence. Inside the top floor of a skyscraper, CEO Richard Hale sat in his office surrounded by untouched decorations. The golden Christmas tree gleamed behind him, but his eyes were fixed on the city below. For the 7th year in a row, he was alone. No laughter, no family dinner, no gifts exchanged, just silence and work. He had everything people dreamed of: money, power, respect, but the warmth of love had slipped through his fingers long ago. His parents were gone, his ex-wife had remarried, and his only son hadn't spoken to him in years. Richard told himself he didn't need anyone. But deep inside, every Christmas reminded him how lonely success could be. Down the same street, in a small apartment with flickering fairy lights, Ethan Miller, a single dad, was helping his 6-year-old daughter Lily glue the arm back onto her favorite Christmas toy, a stuffed bear named Mr. Buttons. Ethan had been working double shifts as a delivery driver to afford even a small Christmas dinner. He was exhausted but determined to make the night special for his little girl. But just as the clock struck 8, the glue failed, and Mr. Buttons' arm came off again. Lily's eyes welled up with tears. "Daddy, he's broken forever now," she whispered. Ethan smiled softly, though his heart broke seeing her sadness. "No, sweetie. Nothing's broken forever. We just need someone who knows how to fix things." Outside, the snowstorm was growing worse, but Ethan bundled Lily in her coat. "Let's go find help," he said. They walked down the quiet street, the wind cutting through their breath. The toy repair shop was closed. The hardware store was dark. Every door they knocked on was silent until they reached the last building on the street, Hale Industries headquarters, the tallest one of all. Lily pointed at it. "Daddy, look. There's still a light on at the top." Ethan laughed softly. "That's the CEO's office, sweetheart. I doubt he fixes toys." But Lily tugged his hand, her eyes shining with innocent hope. "Maybe he's lonely. Maybe he'll help." With nothing to lose, Ethan carried her through the lobby and up the elevator. When they reached the top, they found a large mahogany door slightly ajar. Lily peeked in and saw a man in a suit staring out the window. She stepped forward and softly said, "Excuse me, mister, my toy is broken." Richard turned, startled. He hadn't seen a child in his office in years. Her small hands held a torn teddy bear, and her voice trembled with hope. Ethan quickly apologized. "I'm sorry, sir. We didn't mean to bother you. She really loves this toy." Something about the sight of that father and daughter hit Richard deep. He saw himself years ago, before work had consumed everything he loved. He hesitated, then walked over and knelt beside Lily. "Let me see him," he said gently. He took the bear in his hands, carefully examining the loose stitches and missing button. His fingers trembled slightly, and used to doing anything delicate. "You know," he said quietly, "my mother used to fix my toys when I was your age. She said every broken thing just needs a little patience." He opened his desk drawer and pulled out a small sewing kit, a habit he kept from his mother. For the next few minutes, the powerful CEO and the little girl sat together, carefully stitching the bear's arm back in place. Ethan watched in awe as Richard smiled for the first time in years. "There," Richard said finally, handing the toy back. "Good as new." Lily hugged him suddenly, surprising them both. "Thank you, mister," she beamed. "You saved Christmas." Something inside Richard cracked open. Her warmth, her innocence, it felt like sunlight after years of darkness. He cleared his throat, trying to steady his voice. "You two shouldn't be out in this storm. Stay here for a while. I'll call for some hot chocolate." They ended up sharing cocoa and cookies in his office, laughing and talking as if they'd known each other forever. Ethan told him about being a single dad, about losing his wife in an accident, and about trying to give Lily a happy life despite the struggle. Richard listened quietly, the ache in his chest growing heavier. When Lily fell asleep on the couch, clutching her bear, Ethan smiled. She hasn't had a real Christmas since her mom passed. You made tonight special for her. Richard looked at the little girl and then back at Ethan. She made it special for me, he admitted. I've spent years believing Christmas didn't matter anymore. But now, I think I was wrong. He hesitated, then stood up. Ethan, how would you and Lily like to spend Christmas morning here? I could use some company. And I think I owe that little one a proper Christmas breakfast. Ethan's eyes softened. Are you sure? Richard nodded. For the first time in years, I'm sure. The next morning, Richard's penthouse was filled with the sound of laughter and the smell of pancakes. Lily helped him hang the last ornament on his tree. For the first time since his parents' passing, Richard didn't feel like a man at the top of the world, he felt like a man finally home. Before leaving, Ethan said something Richard would never forget. You know, sir, sometimes fixing something small fixes something much bigger. That night, as Richard stood by the window watching them walk away through the snow, he realized Ethan was right. The little girl had fixed more than her toy, she had mended a broken heart. The following year, the employees of Hale Industries were shocked when the CEO personally hosted a massive Christmas party for all staff and their families. At the center of it all was a single dad, his little girl, and a man who finally understood that wealth means nothing without love to share it with.